To introduce our next keynote speaker. As you can see, Dr. Kyung-hee, or KH or K Kim. She's a professor and researcher at William & Mary, as well as an inventor with 2 biomedical technology U.S. patents. And she's a best-selling author, including the Creativity Challenge in the USA in 2016, Education for the Future in Korea 2019, and Let Them Play Outside the Box, also in Korea. She believes everyone can be an innovator using creative thinking skills. She comes from humble beginnings, an origin on a farm in Korea that kind of proves that point. Her life's work promotes creativity and creative thinking skills of mastery, imagination, and critical thinking as antidotes to creative killing, social conformity, and test-centric community. She began studying under the work of the father of creativity, Paul Torrance, and she won the Berlin Award in 2009 from the American Psychological Association and the Hollingworth Award, or the Goff Award in 2011, and the Torrance Award in 2015 for the National Association for Gifted Children. She's become one of the foremost experts on communication, and her creativity quotient assessment uses eye tracking patterns that she has. Media and government leaders frequently seek her interviews, speaking engagements, passionate and methodologies of her life's work. And Dr. Kim, the floor is yours.
Hello. Yes, my first name is Kyung-hee, but nobody can remember my first name, so I can go by K or KH. But my last name is Kim, so I don't want you to call me Kim. I wanted to answer a question, has Guilford grown U.S. creativity? It doesn't go next slide. Oh, yeah. Okay. Guilford said innovation. Of course, he didn't use the word innovation. He said creative productivity. Okay, I use innovation. Innovation comes from first knowledge and experiences at first. Okay, but it's not related to IQ or test scores. Also, memorization of facts is not really helpful. Second one, creative attitude. Creative attitudes are like all those characteristics that innovators share, like attitude, personality. He calls it personality, like interest, motivation, and the temperament, like that. So in my book, I identified the 27 attitudes. Okay, the first one, okay. So he urged us to discover and promote creative attitude. The first one is non-conformity. Okay? In order to make something new, you need to be willing to challenge the status quo. So make a new rule, right? So instead of following old rules, and it is actually innovation is healing the world instead of fitting in the world. So the first step to be creative is a mastery. It means a master of a topic of your interest by following rules. And then like about, for 10 years. And then like while you are mastering the subject, you noticed some needs or some problem in the topic. And then so you want to solve it. Then it's a new problem, so you can't get answer from existing knowledge and skills. So you use imagination by breaking rules. So, okay, so you improve the existing one and then you solve a problem, so it's like a valuable. And then like imagination, you find a new way of doing something, a new idea, it's novel. So valuableness and novelness combined together becomes innovation. Is it new, making new rules? Okay. History of Guilford's dream. In 1950, he shared his dream that we should develop not just intelligence. And then, so in 1957, Actually, there was a Soviet Union Sputnik. Okay, American people were scared. And then so they thought that they were far behind the Soviet Union. So, but actually it helped the US creativity development. So they started focusing on science, and also they focused on making learning fun. Okay, so developing creativity, following Dr. Guilford's dream. And then 1960s and 70s, realizing his dream by focusing on American creativity. That is American strength. America's strength is creativity, okay? And then 1980s, okay, there were a lot of Japanese cars and the electronics came to America, and then so it scared people. And then what is the old people say was Japanese are coming. Before they said the Russians are coming, and then now Chinese are coming. People say, but next they will say Koreans are coming because I am from Korea, and my two books became bestsellers. So it's I am changing Korean education. So it's a Koreans coming. 1990s in America. They made this law, it's called 2000, and then no child left behind. So then they really focus on testing, test-centric, okay? So it's no child gets ahead. 2000, OECD made a PISA program for international student assessment. 2000, every 3 years, 15-year-old students take the test reading, science, and math. Okay, and then so every 3 years, people countries don't really care about the score; they care about the country ranking. Okay, like what rank is. So whenever the PISA ranks come out, the whole world became panic. Like why? Because all those are Asian country students. Asian countries are top of rank, and then America is really very behind, right? So what happened was since the 1990s up to present, killing Dr. Guilford's dream by focusing on weakness. What is it? American people's weakness is what? Test scores. So they instead of they are focusing on their strengths, which is creativity, then now they are focusing on test scores so that they can be like Asian countries. But this which is American weakness. The Dr. Torrance said, if we are focused on weakness, you become average, right? So you have to focus on your strength. Okay. So a lot of you know, so my study, Creative Crisis in America, was on Newsweek, July 2000. So I will talk about Creative Crisis soon, and then 2016, I published the book, Creative Challenge. Well, see, the name of the book is Creative Challenge, but a lot of people think it's a Creative Crisis because I am well known for Creative Crisis. So anyway, I developed this book. So it means I developed a theory how to develop creativity, especially creative attitude. Then, so as a solution to creative crisis. Now, this is a creative crisis study. Look at this. Fluency is like generating many ideas, exploring a lot of ideas and generating many ideas. And the originality is the quality of ideas. It means like how unusual, unique ideas, right? So if you look at it, like 1957, it's coming, increasing. And then between 1990 and 1998, somehow decreasing. I'm talking fluency, right? And then if you look at originality, it's up to 1990s, it's increasing, but like not really a lot, not really a lot of decreasing afterwards, right? It's somehow a little bit 2008, a little bit like higher. I used the Torrance test for this. Okay, and then I recently finished this updated the study. I found that originality finally caught up, and then originality decreased as much as like right now. It's so between 2008 and 2017, it really declined a lot, originality. So Dr. Guilford said promote creative attitudes, right? So and then the first one is non-conformity, the second was curiosity. So we need to encourage curiosity so that we explore many ideas. So that's a fluency. So if we generate a lot of ideas, it becomes really, if you have a lot of ideas, then some of them are quality ideas. Some of them are really unique ideas, right? So fluency eventually become originality. That's why fluency declined first and then originality declined later. Okay. Before the 90s, children playing outside explored the nature, right? Now, working, a 6-year-old boy answered, like when researcher asked, why are you doing this? He has answered like this, to get a job later. That's how he answered. Yeah. But without Guilford, America could have been worse. Why? Despite lower test support, American students lower test scores, creative productivity and attitude are still higher. I will show you here. Okay, this is okay. The gray color is PISA science scores from 2015. And then the red ones, I made a creative attitude composite scores using the questionnaire, like for parents, students, and teachers questionnaire. And then in 2015, there were a lot of questions about science learning. So that's what I used. And then look at this. All the Asian students, top ranking country on PISA scores, right? And then, but their creative attitudes are really low, right? America is still high. So it's then the correlation between the PISA science score and the creative attitude point, like -0.9. It's really strong, right? So Asian test scores, so we need to talk about Asian test scores, real world success. There is an illusion about like, Asian success, okay? Academic success, Asian highest in the world and the US. However, career advancement, the lowest of all racial groups in the US, the lowest in technology, law, finance, government, and academics like college or university president. So it means they get a job, but they don't get promoted. For example, in technology, okay, it's a ratio of professionals to managers and executives. So they get a job, but they don't become managers and executives. So that means, and then in law, it's even worse. Ratio of a law firm associated to partners. So a lot of like entry-level lawyers, but they don't become like partners. Asian strengths and weakness. Asian culture is so I studied Confucianism, like Asian culture a lot. Okay? Asian culture, Confucianism is it started 2,500 years ago. Confucius is teaching about daily life ethics. Another Asian culture too. Second one is this. Test-centric meritocracy. It started 2,000 years ago when China made a civil service exam, the civil service test. The reason they started that test is like the first standardized test in the world. Standardized test in the world, right? But they started because when Sui dynasty took power illegally, and then so they had power, and then so they were worried that all the radicals or young radicals, young ambitious men might overthrow the emperor, right? So they wanted to control the young radicals by so it means that by making this test. All those young radicals, ambitious young radicals, were focused on passing the test, because once you pass this test, civil service test, you get money and power and everything. So and that they were really focused on that. So they become like really obedient, right? So the strength is the hard work ethic, okay? Asian people don't believe in inborn ability or genius like that. So we just work hard, okay? Like worker bees. And the obedience, it's really good, right? Obedience to authorities, like that. So I left Korea in 2000 with just the 2 children, young children. And then I came to America, right? So I was alone all the time. I have been alone. So, and then many people have been telling me, Dr. Kim, you have to have a balance in your life. You have to date, you have to marry. And then, so finally I signed up with Match.com, which is an online dating site. So and then I put my profile there, and I wanted to get, so I wrote there, I wanted to get these creative people, like men who have a creative attitude. And then, but, so a lot of men, and they contacted me, I met them, but they wanted to date me, not because I'm beautiful, but because they thought I'm obedient and submissive. But I don't think I am, you know, do you think I am? Anyway, so it didn't work. So it did. Weakness, past-centric meritocracy, right? It's like rote learning, because at the time the test, the civil service test is like all memorizing the great people's words, memorizing and copying, okay? And then, so you know, copy is Asian country companies are really good at copying Western companies' products, and then they improve, right? They make money like that. And then conforming answers, there are right answer, right? There are right answers. So it's the same answers. So conforming mind, okay. So I describe Asian as this with a bonsai. You know, this is a bonsai apple trees. You know the small apple, not many apples, right? And then Western innovation I describe as apples outside, apple trees outside, okay? So I use this metaphor often because I grew up on apple orchard, okay? My parents grew apples. Then, so I was, when I was little, I was wild, I was like a boy. But as I grew up, I noticed this conformity, okay? I was supposed to be like really girl like that. Anyway, so, and then, but when, for example, when I became an English teacher, I was a high school English teacher. And I wanted to motivate my students to study English better. And then so I taught them like American pop songs or British or Western pop songs. And also when weather is nice, we went outside, we danced, and then we did aerobic to the dance music. Okay? And then my principal and vice principal gave me the lowest teacher rating ever. Okay? And then also when I was in PhD, I was in PhD program in Korea also. In PhD program, I disagreed with one of my professors, and then he made me repeat one more entire semester. So I paid for one more semester, I had to do one more semester. So it was painful, okay? So it's there, you need to have just the same answer, you have to just listen to what professors say, what teachers say. So your mind is really constrained. Okay, bonsai looks good, right? It's pretty, but it can't grow really big. Your mind is really constrained. But if you're outside, open field, then you get a lot of open ideas. You get a lot of fruits, right? Okay. So, and then since 20 years ago, I came to US with my 2 children, and then I become like fruitful, and I become successful. Yeah. To renew Dr. Guilford's dream, we need to focus on curiosity for mastery. Okay, instead of teaching, so we should not focus on teaching. We have to focus on fun introduction to learning and reading, so that children are interested in the topic and they enjoy the topic. Then, once then that they become really passionate, so we don't have to ask them to study, then they will do it, right? And then another thing is instead of rote learning, because a lot of teachers are focused on teaching to the test right now, we need to focus on real life applications. Okay, so without this, without real life applications, the knowledge the knowledge disappears as soon as you take the exam. Okay, so with this like a curiosity and the passion for your topic, without this passion for your topic, there's no Nobel Prize winners. I have studied the Nobel Prize winners a lot. I will give you an example. Okay, these of course the gray ones are science scores, and the red ones are what? So interested, which means this. Okay, all these Asian country students have a top scores, high scores, but when they were asked, so they were not curious about the topic, they were not interested in learning the topic, or they don't enjoy learning the topic. So the correlation is a minus 0.77. Okay, another one, yeah. Another one, to renew Guilford's dream, non-conformity. Okay, we have to focus on non-conformity for imagination. Instead of compliance, listening to teachers, we need to teach children to question and debate. Then challenge the status quo, rules and authorities. Instead of just accepting the knowledge, we need to challenge them. Then form your own opinion based on evidence. Don't be peer pressured. Focus on your strengths. It's the same. When country like America is focused on weakness, which is the test scores, they lose their strengths, they become nothing, right? For individual, it's the same. When you are focused on your strengths, you become like really, you become passionate about it. And then later you can work with, or I call it cross-pollinate. You can work with other people who have strengths that are your weaknesses. So you work together. Innovation is working together. Okay. So this is, look at this. Korea, look at this. I am from Korea. Look at the non-conformity. Non-conformity, really, so it means it's a conforming society. You have to look the same. You have to act the same. You have to behave the same, right? So, and then look at this, and then these red one, it's the non-conformity. Well, I don't understand why UK has really low non-conformity. I don't know what's going on. I will study next time. I will present why UK is like, well, maybe, I don't know, but I was thinking that maybe they wear all school uniforms. I found that school uniforms are not good for creativity. It's because it really forces the conformity. I don't know. So if I know for sure, I will let you know. Anyway, so the correlation between like a PISA science scores and non-conformity is minus 0.75. Okay. So to renew Dr. Guilford's dream, let them explore. Instead of growing bonsai, we need